Hey guys. So I have a list here about, kind of everything I want to talk about, just because I'm still kind of having a hard time organizing all my thoughts. Um, I am 4 days post-op, I think. Yeah, 4 days post-op. I'm doing a lot better than I expected. Today's my first day not taking any pain meds, and I'm really sore, but it's manageable. Um, it's immediately getting TMI here, but it's important to know if you're going into a surgery. It's pretty common after anesthesia to have trouble going number two. Um, and I just want to warn you that if it's been a couple days, when you start having to push, it feels really weird on your incisions to clench your body at all. But as long as it doesn't hurt, don't be too freaked out by that. I was a little worried because last night I had a fever of 100.7. And I was feeling like kind of dizzy and my breasts were incredibly swollen. But when I woke up this morning, it was back to normal. So that's really good. Um, Even though I'm not taking my pain meds consistently, I am taking my ibuprofen every 6 to 8 hours just to keep the swelling down so my body can heal at its best. So the week before the surgery flew by really fast. I tried to sleep on my back as much as possible. Just because I have never really slept on my back well before, trying to get used to it. I would say that definitely remember to confirm with your surgeon if there's any pain meds you can take right before the surgery or up until the surgery. I forgot to ask that, and I ended up having a super bad migraine like 3 or 4 days before my surgery. I woke up at like 2 a.m. with a level 10 pain, dizzy, vomiting from the pain. I Googled it and I ended up taking Tylenol because Google said I could take Tylenol. So I took the minimum amount of Tylenol that I could. Hot bath, hot coffee, Tylenol. I ended up falling asleep sitting cross-legged upright in the bath because as soon as my migraine went away, my body was just so tired that I fell asleep in the bathtub. It's definitely weird waking up in a cold bath and being like, wait, where am I? Thankfully, my surgeon confirmed the next day that yes, you can have Tylenol up to the days of the surgery. But I definitely should have remembered to ask that beforehand. I would also say definitely expect to have some weird dreams and trouble sleeping on the days leading up to your surgery. I had a lot of dreams about, things going terribly wrong, or, getting rolled into the operating room and they just fell off for no reason. Anxiety dreams are really weird things. So other than that, really not much to tell about my week before the surgery. Everything went really quickly. I did what I needed to do. I would suggest that aside from asking your doctor those questions, there's a few things that you should do before you have your surgery. I went shopping for a lot of button-down clothes, just because I heard that it would be hard to lift your arms after surgery. Most of them are PJs, like in PJ sets, but I did get a few nicer shirts just in case the arm soreness lasted longer than I was expecting and I needed to actually be out in decent society. Doctor's appointments, church, etc. I washed them all the day before surgery so they would be like clean, no cat hair. And I also went on Amazon. I bought a bottle of Hibiclens off of Amazon, which is one of the surgical soaps that are usually recommended. Um, so off of Amazon, get the Hibiclens. I also got some nonstick gauze pads. I did later have to buy bigger pads, because what you actually need are nonstick abdominal pads, not just gauze pads. So the gauze pads that I got are the square ones, and I had to use like 10 of them because you have to start putting the padding on way back here, and it has to come all the way up and over, and then across the nipple. Because I had the anchor incision, so it goes around the nipple. I can't feel this on this side at all. I can only feel touching on this side, which is weird. But that should even out as I go on healing. So there's a circle here, and then it goes down into the anchor, and the anchor goes all the way back here. And so we use 2 abdominal pads. My sister helps me with my gauze because I can't do it on my own. Instead of using like 20 of the smaller ones, it's much easier to just use 2 of the bigger ones on each side. So I would recommend getting the non-stick abdominal pads. I also found my favorite sports bra that I bought right before I decided I was going to get a reduction. Well, actually right after. Before wouldn't make sense. And took some before photos of it. I am going to do another update. It's probably going to be a 3-month or a 6-month update video. My best friend and I have decided we're going to have a bonfire and burn my old horrible bras. That will definitely be a part of the update video. So things you should, so you should also make sure you stay really hydrated. I went and I bought ginger ale, seltzer, Gatorade, and bottled water just to make sure that I had everything that I needed right there. I find that crystallized ginger helps my nausea a lot, so I made sure I bought some of that as well. My mother was kind enough to buy me a buckwheat pillow for maximum neck support while sleeping on my back. I also made thank you cards for literally everyone I came in contact with at the hospital. I hope I managed to give everyone one. I think I did, but there was a period of multiple hours where I just am super fuzzy. And I also cleaned up my living spaces so that I wouldn't have the urge to clean sooner than I should be lifting things. So the night before my surgery, I showered regularly, and then I showered with HIPAA-Cleanse. I used a Summer's Eve personal wipe to make sure that all my areas were like fully cleansed. I drank a lot of water to make sure that I would be really hydrated and to help offset some of the cravings for water the next morning. I double checked my surgery bag. I braided my hair into 2 French braids so that it would be out of the way. I still actually have them in those same braids right now. I haven't washed my hair yet, which is why my hair is up and like this. I can't lift my arms very high still, and I don't want to annoy any of my family members to ask them to help me do my hair just yet. I'll give it maybe another day before I cave and have someone help me. I packed my surgery bag the night before. So I packed a zip front sweatshirt, which I definitely didn't need because it's July, but I'm a crazy person and I packed everything I could possibly need. I packed the pajama set that I was going to wear, which I ended up putting on the next morning instead of just packing an extra set. A phone charger, my medication list, a mask, chapstick, crystallized ginger, a pouch of lavender buds because that helps me when I'm really anxious, and my thank you cards. I also had to have a very long conversation with my cat, attempting to explain to him that he can no longer stomp across my boobs to wake me up. I've only had to shove him off twice since that conversation, so maybe he got it, or maybe he can just, like, cat sense that I am swollen and he's bleeding and he shouldn't step there. Either way, hasn't been terrible. I do have, like, a cat scratch here. No memory of that happening. So, that's weird. But I did get a couple hours of sleep before my surgery. The morning of the surgery, I had to be there at 7:15. So I got up early. I showered with the HIPAA-Cleanse. Showering with just HIPAA-Cleanse did make my skin feel really dry and kind of uncomfortable. So that's to be expected. I also brought baby wipes and more of the Summer Eve's wipes in case I needed to freshen up before surgery. I didn't need to do either. I just wanted to have everything just in case. I put on that button-down PJ set, and I didn't end up taking any of my pills. They said I could take them with a small sip of water, but I usually get them stuck in my throat and have to chug, so I just didn't. While I was in the hospital, my family washed my bed sheets for me. My husband did that for me so I could just get into a bed that was as clean as possible after surgery. So when we got there, it was about 7:15. We checked into the front desk, waited, did all the normal, gave me my insurance card and ID and all that before they brought me back to the surgery suite, the pre-surgery suite. Took off all my clothes and my shoes. I got to leave my underwear on for a while because the nurse didn't know if I needed to take them off. So I just left them on for as long as possible. Mwahaha. And I had to put my clothes and my shoes in his bags. Then they put surgery socks on me and compression things, which are actually, I really liked those once they were on. They were fun. It's very comforting. It's like an extra heartbeat, but not. I had to pee in a cup for a pregnancy test, which was difficult considering I hadn't had any water since midnight. They came in, took my vitals and all that. I waited a while. They hung up basically, I guess, like electrolytes and started an IV. Then they gave me Pepcid to neutralize my stomach acid. They gave me Zofran for nausea, Tylenol for pain and swelling, dexamethasone for swelling, which is a steroid. And I asked if I could get the nausea patch, which is like a little circle that they put behind your ear. Definitely ask for that. My aunt recommended it to me. She said that she's had 15 surgeries, and the last one that she had with the nausea patch is the only one that she's never been extremely nauseous afterward. And I wasn't really that nauseous after mine, so definitely ask for the nausea patch. The only thing about the nausea patch is it lasts for 3 days, but when you take it off, you have to use a glove. It can't touch your skin, and you have to wash the area after. They also gave me gabapentin for the pain, and I had to take it with water, the smallest amount of water possible. And the combination of those meds made me start to feel really sleepy, plus the fact that it was before noon, and I don't usually wake up before noon. So then the surgeon came in and made all the marks. It's really hard to get clean off of these. Like, I scrubbed at these, and they did not come off. So I look kind of weird right now. You can see I still have all the marks. I still even have some going down my belly, because it goes all the way down to your belly button. So that's weird. I remember the anesthesiologist coming in, and I think a nurse. And I remember the nurse saying that I had a really good bartender, and I was about to not remember much, which must have been accurate, because I only sort of remember being in a hallway, and I sort of remember hearing my mom say, "This is so weird," and I think she was crying. And then the nurses let me give her a hug, and then I remember waking up many hours later. Like, many hours later in the recovery ward. The surgery went really well. My surgeon was amazing. He actually had someone leave halfway through the surgery. It was about a 4-hour surgery. So we had someone leave halfway through to call my family and tell them that it was going well, which we all really appreciated. And they were able to do attached nipple for both of them, which is amazing. We weren't expecting that. In total, they removed 9 pounds, which is crazy. He actually said to my mom over the phone that he was worried he removed too much, and my whole family just burst out laughing. They were like, "That's not even possible. She'll be fine," which is right. I mean, being an M cup was way too much, so I'm not actually sure what this is gonna be. It might be closer to a D than a double D, which I'm super fine with. So when I woke up, I was brought to a private room. I didn't have to wear a mask because it was a room just for me. That was nice. I do want to warn you, I was not expecting how sore my arms were going to be. Because when they have you laying on that surgery bed, they have your arms straight out on either side of you. My arms are still really sore. I couldn't move them. I could only start opening my own pill bottles on day 3. I'm still wicked sore through in there. And I wasn't expecting that at all. So be prepared for that, because it is really deeply uncomfortable. Around 5 p.m. I fell asleep again. Around 6 I ordered dinner. At 7 I tried to eat dinner, but my coordination was really bad, so I dropped mac and cheese down my surgical bra, because of course I did. Because you're not allowed to lay down or sit up all the way for a while. They have you laying at like 33 degrees. And that's a really hard angle to eat at. I couldn't eat because I was too nauseous. Probably because I just dropped mac and cheese in a blood-covered gauze. But they gave me more Zofran, and then I was able to eat. I got more Dilaudid at 9. They had to wake me up to go to the bathroom at 10. I had a really hard time emptying my bladder because of the catheter. It's like your brain just decides that it doesn't need to pee anymore after you have a catheter. So I had to sit there for a really long time and just kind of convince myself, no, you need to pee, before it finally like released. So expect that too. I'm actually still kind of struggling with that. It's definitely not as bad though. It was really hard because you're not allowed to use your arms at all for anything. So in order to get up, you have to like hook your legs on the side of the hospital bed and like thrust yourself forward. Not easy. Not easy. Not terrible. I slept a lot. I woke up a couple times in significant pain, and they gave me more medicine. I got to meet my surgeon again at 7:40 that morning, and he said that everything looked really, really great, which was amazing. And I got to go home around 10, I think. And I would say for my best advice for when you're at home, make sure someone's there to help you. Don't change your gauze pads on your own. My surgeon told me that I can change my gauze pads. I have a friend who had surgery the same day as me, whose surgeon told her not to change them at all. So whatever your surgeon's instructions are, follow them. But if you're told you can change your bandaging, make sure you have someone in the room with you, because the first look I got at my breasts, I almost passed out. It was blue and black and green, covering almost all of the area. Your nipples are fully indented, covered in tape and stitches and dried blood. I almost passed out. Definitely make sure you're not alone the first couple times you see your breasts. I still get dizzy seeing them, but I'm not near passing out. It's just kind of like, wow, that's not great. Also be prepared for this really weird thing. Apparently, it's really common for air to get trapped in your breast tissue when they do surgery. So every once in a while, my boob just kind of farts, which is hilarious, but also a really weird sensation. Just be aware of that, because I was not told that by my surgeon, and discovering that on my own was really weird. So yeah, I hope I answered really as many questions as I could. If you have any more questions, please ask them in the comments. And when I make another video at either a 3 or a 6 month update, I'll answer as many as I can. If you're about to go into surgery, if you're on Instagram, we can message, and I can give you, I can try to answer your questions and support you through it. I do have some fairly graphic after photos. If you're interested in seeing those, if you're about to go into your own breast reduction and you want to know what to expect, I can show you those. I'm just not going to put it in the YouTube video. I would definitely do this again if God forbid, they grew for some reason. I'm in a lot of pain. I'm really sore, but it's definitely the best decision I've ever made for myself. Probably aside from marrying the love of my life, who's somewhere upstairs. My back already feels so much better. I mean, it was 9 pounds. That's crazy. But yeah, don't let any of the negatives that I said discourage you, because I just want you to be aware of what you will have to go through. And you might have an easier time or a harder time. Everyone heals differently. But if you're looking to get a breast reduction, I really recommend it. This was a good decision for me. Again, comment if you have any questions, and my next video will be either 3 or 6 months from now. Bye!